one boy that usually be with us, but he wasn't with us.
Live from the ranch. We here and we're back.
Yeah, I need somebody, man. I need somebody that can get that, man. I've been
And
reaching
we
out.
are live from the ranch. Sports talk on the weekend. How's everybody doing out there?
Doing wonderful, man. We getting into football weather, man. This is football weather. You feel that chill out there?
Yeah, it's nip in the air. Definitely it is football time. It's what you call cracking weather last night. You
Yeah.
know, when it's about 45, 46
Yeah.
degrees. Man, put them pads on and get it in. You know, with no problem, with no issue. People blowing you up. We live. Let them know. Tune in. Sports Talk live
Yeah,
from
we
the
here.
ranch.
We here.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna get this piece rocking all day. Definitely. Had a good time last night. Did a little get Friday Night Lights again last night. Down at
always beautiful under the lights, man. Always
down at Penwood. Shout out to Rap Curry, Penwood Patriots, rival high school, but it's all good. They beat Glen Mills 48-16. I got to interview some graduating athletes and everything. Real inspirational stories. I'm gonna put that together and put it up. Definitely. Really good time. And Penwood's looking real good. AP, I'm sorry, Doug got Chester last night. 35-22.
It was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely. So Penwood and Academy Park on the collision course again for the last game of the season for the Del Val. And maybe more. They're both 5A teams now, so they could eventually meet in the playoffs also.
Hey, we'll be back soon, too, man. Just mark my words.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. You know, comes in cycles.
Yeah, I mean, you get in cycles. I mean, it comes in cycles. Definitely. I mean, that's how it is. Athletes run in cycles. But, yeah, let's jump into the NFL, trying to see what's going on in the league. A lot of things going on now in the NFL. But one of the early season things is Drew Brees broke a record.
Mm-hmm.
Most passing yards. We talked a little bit about him last night. I mean, and last week. And do we rate him? Is he underrated? Is he GOAT potential? I mean, I said if he gets one more ring, I mean, he's got to be in the top 4, top 3. I mean, stats he's put up and everything like that. Definitely. He beat Manning head to head. And I'll have 2 Super Bowls as, a quarterback, as a legitimate, quarterback, as one of the emphasis of them winning the championship. Manning would have 2, but his second one, he was carried by the Broncos defense across the finish line. So, but, I mean, definitely Drew Brees is one of those guys you got to top. And look, and congratulations to him, man. Just tremendous player, his story, coming back from the shoulder surgery.
Constant professional. Constant professional.
Great message to his kids on the sideline Monday night as they torched the Redskins in that game. Just incredible. Another story that's been big at this start of the season is the NFC East, or should we say the NFC least?
Absolutely.
Man. Boy.
I mean, there has been there's nobody in the division above 500, and that's the only division in the NFL who doesn't have a team above 500 right now. The Eagles pretty much dominated the Giants Thursday night, and moving on for their victory, their W, as they took them and got to 500 on a short week. What do you guys think is up with the NFC East? I mean, there's a lot of different things going on. Just that, Duke, you thought the Giants would have a shot in the division.
Oh, man, did I?
They've totally fallen apart and fallen off the wayside. I mean, it's just really incredible. One of the things, Carson Wentz is back for the Eagles. I think the Eagles will be all right. And they got Carson Wentz back. I mean, they can win the division. I don't know what can happen outside the division. But with Carson Wentz back, he looked a little sharper Thursday night on the run, making plays. They have some issues with their offensive line. Peters is hurt again towards bicep. So
Peter's been hurt for like 2 years, 2.5 years.
It's about that time.
Because you're in the way now,
Your body, you really want to be able to do something when you get older. You know what I mean?
You out there, let's be real. 300 plus. We're not gonna forget him. Hall of Fame left tackle, right?
Yeah.
So, what do we give them when they're at their prime? Do we give them 10 plus, right?
Yeah.
So, has he put that in?
I think he does. I mean,
so he put that in. So we at this stage for linemen, what is done. I don't. This is the part of athletics that I don't like.
Yeah.
When you start seeing these great guys start going down, I want to make a call to them and be like, listen,
shut it down.
Yeah, we got you already, the bank account was right, you know. Let's start thinking about some other things, because this here is probably you looking, you're not looking good. Yeah. You're looking like you're not
And then you
supposed to
start
be.
to forget, and then the body injuries that you have, and just later on in life, just trying to make it. And that's one of the things that once you get over 30 and get injuries, they just start keep coming and coming and coming.
And actually, he actually looked bad in the game last night. I mean, the other night too.
Yeah, he got dominated.
Like he normally doesn't get beat up like that. He looked bad, man. But like you said, you talk about the Eagles, man. I think now in the NFL, as long as the reason why these guys getting $30 million a year, as long as you got one of them, you always got a shot.
Yeah,
you always got a shot to win. As long as you got one of them, you always got a shot to win. And I mean, the Eagles D haven't played great. They played all right Thursday night, but everybody's D's played great against the Giants. But this guy is gonna have you in every game.
Yeah, you always gonna be able to come back.
This guy is gonna have you in every game, and I think if you look at the rest of the division, nobody has that guy.
No, definitely. We won't get into that. Yeah, we won't definitely get into that.
Can size up with any team in the league and go, point for point.
Yeah,
the Eagles do.
Yeah,
right.
And that's,
well, the thing about the Eagles, we look at this conference. We got the Redskins, right? What we think about them, right? We don't even got to get into. We gonna start our conversation. Right, it's over. Then we got Dallas.
I think it's the
same thing, right? Same thing. And then we go to the Giants. We saw what the Giants are last night, right?
Yeah.
So the Eagles are the one team in that division. Yep. I mean, they're the best team in that division. Let's not even play around with it, right?
Yeah, they're the best
but what they have, what separates them from not only the teams in their division is they have some bite. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that bite is what gets you through, because they started the season off not good, right?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
your starting quarterback is out. You got these injuries.
Leadership.
But at the same time, right? We didn't see them losing 35-10.
Right.
They in there fighting.
Yeah.
So guess what? If you can fight while you hurt, if we get back, y'all got to watch out. That's all that means.
Yeah.
That's all. Just survive now. And you got the veterans on that side of the field that, is because you guys know. Listen, that old dog, right? That is on the porch. He might not be able to run like he used to.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go run up on him. You know what I mean? And that's when you got your Malcolm Jenkins, you got your Fletcher Coxes, you got your Chris Longs. Yeah. They're not going to let you fall.
And
they're going to pick you up. They're going to pick you up.
The key things, if you talk about leadership, you talk about when things go down. And in the NFL season, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have some injuries, some bad matchups because of those injuries, and you may lose some games. But you can't, and we're going to get into Odell, you can't go off on the deep end, become an issue and a distraction yourself. I mean, if you saw that game against the last game before the Giants when they played the Vikings, and the cornerback Mills had some issues with Phelan, he was talking, and Fletcher Cox stepped on there. Why you talking? You getting cooked.
Yeah.
Get to the sideline. And Mills was like, yo,
yeah.
man, what you talking? Put your hands on me. But when they came back to the sideline, Long was coming over there, and Mills was like, nah, we talking it out. We gonna get it straight now. We need that kind of thing.
Oh, without a doubt.
And Fletcher Cox, as the highest paid, the superstar on the team, was like, nah, man, check yourself. Look, we out here. They moving the ball on us. What do you talk? What do you have to talk about? Right. Like you getting cooked every week. Like what?
You making it personal versus it's about the team. And all
right.
That stuff.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I think. And when you got that, when you win the championship, you gotta have that. And then once you do that, you win.
I think my man Michael Bennett, he said something the other day.
Who shoulder padless?
Yeah. New to the team, right? He made a statement that you want to run through a wall for Doug Peterson because he believes in you and he treats you like a man. You know what I mean? He comes to you like a man. So you want to run through.
Sometimes
this guy just got there.
Sometimes, listen. Do we need anything else? You know what I'm saying? Do we need anything else? So I know that you got my back and I got money. Like, let me know that you're a man and you got my back. Yeah. And this is why I'm here. Yeah. You know. So they got that part. You know, the thing that I think is going to get the Eagles is that running back spot. Yeah. That's that Achilles heel right now.
Many passes.
And they trying to figure it out, but that's the Achilles heel right now that I see.
Dropping Wentz back too much with the line.
They can make a move.
Yeah. They can, and they will, but will it be the right move, you know? But we got some shout outs too. that we got to get up in here.
Brian Kaiser's in the building. My boy Brian.
B. Kaiser, huh?
He's a Cowboy, man.
You got Timmy T, my spot up shooter, West Virginia State University, HBCU, brother. What's happening?
Andre in the building. Andre Hayes, listening. Frequent contributor.
What's up, fellas? Wesley Dotson. How you doing, man?
What's up, Wes?
I'm waiting to get you down here.
Yeah, definitely.
Wes is Wesley is very instrumental and big time in terms of grabbing historians.
Okay.
Especially from Camden, New Jersey.
All right, definitely.
The Milt Wagners, the Kevin Walls.
Definitely. Coming right across the bridge. Delaware Memorial.
We'll be
right
here.
down here. Definitely.
Sakina Higgs. What's up, Mucky? How are you?
Definitely. Shout out. But when we talk about, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. When we talk about leadership, when we talk about Odell Beckham. Now, Odell was on his best behavior. I give him credit. He went into like best behavior mode for that contract, showed up. I'm not holding out the whole 9 yards. I'm doing what it needs to be done so I can get that $65 million guaranteed $90 million contract. So now everybody know, and I think one of the things that is quite obviously is not kind of the elephant in the room. Eli Manning is done. I mean, Eli is done. You've seen the games I watched. The Giants have
Eli is done.
The Giants have missed like third down conversions for like 2 games. Eli looks for the check down automatically. His deep balls have no zip. He's lost. He's not accurate, and he's immobile and can't get out of the pocket. And then when you hit him, he fumbles. If you look at that game Thursday night, and you figure the Giants had a tough loss in Carolina at the buzzer on a 63-yard field goal, and the Giants put up 30 points without converting a third down in that game, which is kind of crazy. But when they started that play against the Eagles, and Manning starts with the interception, then the sack fumble, which is almost a touchdown, you can tell they're deflated. Now, Odell is in interviews, saying like, hey, which it may be true. It may be the truth. Like he don't know if the problem is with Manning or whatever. But at the same time, the tantrums, the sidelines, you're the leader, you're the highest paid. And it looked like, towards the third and fourth quarter that they just quit. Like Janoris Jenkins let my man catch the ball by the end zone and just walk in like whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think it's just they're gonna have to gut that team. You have to. Pat Sherman's gonna come in there. They're gonna have to gut that team and see what they're gonna do. That's the only way I can see, because there's a lot of guys on that team that just aren't team guys. And your highest paid, your leader, and who gets the money that's the man. He's not being an organizational guy. He's going crazy on the sideline, walking in at halftime, things along that nature. That's not about winning. You can get made, you can get a contract, and you can have stats, but that type of player is not going to bring you any success as a team. To quote Mike Singletary, don't want them, can't win with them. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's always funny to me, man, and like you said, we all play, and maybe not in the NFL, but it's always funny to me when people make excuses for guys like, oh, he's just passionate. Oh, he's just.
This is different.
Like, come on, man. Nobody who's out there playing wants to lose. Nobody.
Absolutely.
Come on, man. You got to be an adult at some point.
Yeah.
At some point in your life, you got to be an adult. And coming from me, that's like but high school though.
Yeah.
I've been in like bench clearing brawls.
Oh yeah.
I was Vontaze Burfict. Real serious, right? But I grew up at a certain point.
Right.
You know what? I can't act like this. I got to college. That wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is this, and it has to be hard for them because, right? I don't like to say act crazy, but we know what we want to say, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta at some point mentally you gotta be able to get it together, right? But in terms of them, if you give me $90 million and I'm acting a fool, you think I'm gonna change?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? So.
And the talent aspect there's so much talent there. Just well, maybe he's talented and we got to deal with it.
Right.
But he can't be your leader. You got to have somebody else on the team that's a leader that's getting money that can check on him and say, hey, wait a minute. Nah, you need to fall back in line and be able to do what you want to do. you're the most talented, and usually your leader's got to be your most talented. It's hard to lead and you're not a starter or anything like that. But when you have the talent and you're a tremendous player and you're just wilding out like that, there's no stability because there's going to be ups and downs in the season. And when it's going bad, you can't become selfish and start attacking other players and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's too much. It's too much that goes into it, man. It's too many. Football been around for too long, and there's been too many great players. Like I just watched Brian Dawkins' Football Life last night.
Okay, yeah.
And you heard Ray Rose and Emmett Thomas and them guys saying, "Yeah, I like 20." You know why? Because 20 don't like when stuff ain't going right.
Yeah,
he'll get on people.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But, so that means he did it, and everybody on the team respected him because he did it and the way he did it.
Yeah,
he didn't go around like showing everybody up like I'm the best player. I get interceptions. I get the sacks. You need to listen to me.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what you need, what you're not doing because I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I'm bringing it
and lead by example.
Right. You know, it's simple, right? If you think about it, right? It's not about you. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? No matter. Listen, I got money. You got money. It's not about the dollar. We can go ahead and spend $10,000 on drinks and vacation and all. Sometimes you gotta put that aside. Then it's about guess what? What we gotta do for us. Don't think about me. You gotta do what you gotta do for us.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you start getting into that I thing, you defeated already. Right. Because you're thinking about yourself now. And football is the ultimate team sport, man. It's 53 guys. 53 guys. And you might have, up to 75 practice squad that you got to interact.
Yeah.
It's no time to be, even the quarterback, it's no time to be saying, look, I'm the man. Yeah. I need to get this. I needed to get that. Guess what? If you are a quarterback or a receiver and your linemen start saying then guess what? Yeah. Everybody's getting sacked. You're not getting the ball. You're not doing nothing. So,
Jaron Woods checking in. What's up?
Seattle. That's your Seahawk fan right there.
I like the one where, like, I've seen this over.
D Woods.
People will they'll show Odell Beckham acting a fool on the sideline, and then they'll show Brady, throwing things, yelling at people.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, if and the way I put that is if you're working at your job and the supervisor is getting on people, he's the boss, right? He's yelling at people. It's a big difference between the supervisor getting on you for not doing your job and this joke over here that's not doing his job. He's supposed to do the same job you do.
And the supervisor done ran a department where everybody done got a Christmas bonus every. You know what I mean? Like he done ran he done ran it where you done got a bonus.
So whatever Brady is doing, and everybody's trying to compare. Oh, Brady's passionate and Odell's a baby. Mm-hmm. Well, whatever Brady's been doing for 20 years, it's working.
Oh yeah. Not to mention the coach too.
But we've never heard a Patriots player ever come out and say, I didn't like that. It was a distraction, or it was a double standard in the Patriots locker room the way they treated Brady and everybody else, because it's not. You know what I mean? So he does it, and he's not the only one. That Michael Irvin used to do it. But then when you mic it up and you listen, you'll hear Michael Irvin yelling at the lineman saying, "They say we can't run the ball on."
Right.
What wide receiver says that?
Yeah.
He's snapping on the lineman because the defense is saying we can't run on.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where he was the leader of the team. He's getting everybody's ready to play. Mm-hmm. This guy is like, I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired of losing. We all tired of losing.
Listen, if you this is the thing, right? If you get the ball and you get your stats and you get your touchdowns, you get all that good stuff, right? And you lose, and I don't hear from you, get away from me.
That's exactly what they said.
You understand what I'm saying? Get away from me.
Yeah.
Get away from me. Because now it's about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's strictly about you because you got your stats. You going to the club, you partying with your stats, and you took a L. Yeah. And I don't hear nothing about you.
Steelers gear on, right?
Oh, yeah.
So just earlier this year, Antonio Brown took a day off of work. Yeah. And he said he was pissed off from losing, right?
Yep.
But then Joker's brought up, yo, this isn't the first time the Steelers lost.
Yeah, right.
It's been times that they lost and you had 180 yards and you still showed up at
Right,
practice.
right.
Yeah.
That's my
Now
point.
all
My
of a
point.
sudden y'all losing and Juju catching more balls than you. Now you got you fed up with
My
losing.
point exactly.
And
My point exactly.
These guys, and I wish, and this is, I guess this is my thing about sports talk, man. When they get on TV, they kind of like pacify these, man. Call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
But we in an era now
Odell
where they not
He's
going.
acting like a bitch. Can I say that?
You just
Yeah,
did.
He is acting like a bitch. You know what I mean? And if he was on my team, we'd be rumbling. Yeah. And if anybody say, well, he's a talent and I can take him, you know what? Larry Fitzgerald is just as good a talent.
Oh, yeah.
He never calls
did
him.
that.
And he had worse quarterbacks.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, guess
it's
what?
been players on teams that produced and did not make any noise.
Well, guess what? Guess what he is better at? Is being a diva. And guess what sells? You know what I'm saying? You want to go to Instagram, you want to dance and do all these dances and do all that. That's, I like him. I don't listen.
But
We trying to win. We trying to win.
I mean,
Yeah, we got to win.
I like the guy. He's a great talent, man. He's an unreal talent, man. I like the guy, but if I'm on a team, I don't want him. It was the same way with T.O. I never wanted him on my team. I do not want him, man. I don't want him.
Team obliterator.
I don't want him, man.
June Hot, what's up, brother? I see you.
Let's jump into Josh Norman. Another similar situation. I don't know if you guys heard about that during the Saints game, halftime. He had his headphones on. So he got benched coming out for the second half because the coaches were talking. He had his headphones on, and Gruden asked him to remove the headphones. He didn't remove the headphones, and then they were removed for him. Like Gruden took his headphones off and benched him. It's another case. Like, you're the best player on the team. You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be a defense. Things are getting wrong. You're getting cooked. You're tuning out. Like that whole situation is, look, we got adversity. Things are in bad shape, but we need our leaders to step up and say, look, we gotta get this together. This is what we're not doing. This is what we're doing. You know. Look. And if you got an issue with the coach or whatever, you talk to him like this guy right here, Josh Norman, that you're talking about. And it's funny that him and Odell had that whole
This is the same guy that fought his franchise quarterback in training camp. Are you kidding me? Man? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't want him on my team either.
Nah. See, look, man. It's a difference between alienating yourself and it's going bad. When it gets bad, guess what? We go into places, right? But I'm not picking up headphones. I'm not come on.
Yeah.
I'm not picking up headphones. I'm gonna sit over there. I'm gonna be mad. I might curse. I might do all that. People gonna know I'm not picking up headphones. Not picking up. So guess what? Right? Start messing with these checks for doing stupid stuff and watch it change. Yeah. Because you still getting your money, right? Regardless of what you do, you can be a clown and you still getting your check. And I don't like to talk about these guys when they perform and checks. Mm-hmm. But let's be real, right? Take the loss, take the adversity, take all that stuff, and then go home with it. Stop this stuff. Understand that this social media thing and people watching you and all, no. Do you want this attention? No, I don't want people seeing me with headphones on and me arguing back and forth. And things happen.
Right.
And the heat of battle. We all know, true heat of the battle when you're in the trenches and people get hot.
Right.
And that's going to happen. Do you put back together? You want somebody to get mad. Look, they just ran down our throats. I'm angry. Let's go. You need that, but you know the difference when somebody's just being a diva and throwing a tantrum. When somebody's angry, they're hot, they're motivated, let's go, let's get this done. Versus somebody, look at me, I'm throwing a tantrum. It's not my fault. Everybody knows the difference. We know the difference on what players means. When you start talking about, being productive and bringing fire and bringing intensity to a situation to get the job done versus throwing a tantrum.
You figure this guy Beckham. I didn't really see the whole thing a couple weeks ago, but I saw Sterling Shepard do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you think he got that from?
Yeah.
You think Sterling Shepard was coming in the door doing that?
No, exactly.
Somehow he felt like it was appropriate that he can do that and get away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So
we
he
got
saw
that from the
somewhere.
start. They took the lead from Beckham. So this is what we do. I'm not getting any. Who are you? Like,
this guy Josh Norman, he been a good player for a few years, right? But we never heard about him until 2 years ago when he started making that campaign. He was balling out, and he was making himself known. He was increasing his brand. I don't have a problem with that. He did what he did. He got paid.
Yeah.
But at some point, is it now? When do you let your game talk for you?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was on that side of the field, if I'm not mistaken, last week when they just threw the ball down the right side of the field for a touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go in a half for a 60-yard touchdown. When do you let your game do your talking? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When does that happen? When did that stop being the thing? Like Joker's a point to Dion.
Yeah.
His game did his talking.
He
talked a big game. But he made sure to be ready and prepared and back his thing up.
Right.
To do what he had to do. These guys, they talk a big game, then they complain about everything, then they blow coverages and drop balls. You know what I mean?
And that's the whole thing about it. Like if you're putting the spotlight on yourself, you better show and prove.
You better show and prove.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You like if you talking all that and you upset or whatever, you gonna throw a tantrum. You better show and prove, or everybody gonna be looking at you like this cat is super cool. But I think we're in the era of social media. We're in the era of pacifying cats, whatever. And there's some things that's not an excuse if you want to win. If your organization is about winning, that's the whole thing. You can have all that drama. You can put up numbers. You're gonna have all this. But you're not going to win with a TL. You're not going to win with an ODA. It's just very difficult unless you have all that overriding talent. This is football. It's 11 guys on the field. You got to work as a team. The most important guys really only get noticed when they get beat and give up a sack or a sack fumble. The most important guys on the offensive line, they don't really get no light like that.
Right.
So, we all got to come together as a team to get the job done. It's all about, it's still a business too, and making money, understand that. But the core essence of winning, you got to put, the organization first if you want to win and definitely have that type of success. And it'll be interesting to see. I think Gruden may be on the hot seat.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if Kirk Cousins puts in that work this season over and over in Minnesota and goes like, well, you wanted Alex Smith? Like Andy Reid got 2 quarterbacks moved to the Redskins. They moved for that thing again. He moved McNabb. He moved Alex Smith.
I think guys like Norman, they find out later in their career when they can't get a call back.
Yeah.
And they feel like they can still play.
Dez.
Josh Norman?
Yeah. And he finds out how bad putting on a pair of headphones in the locker room at halftime and then not taking them off for the coach. Like that stuff
gets around.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. This is the guy that wouldn't. Do we want to bring this guy in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one thing if you can't play, say a Revis his last few years. They say, it wasn't that he couldn't play.
Right.
He couldn't play at the level that we were used to seeing him play.
Yeah. Right.
But there was still something that he could teach the young guys, that was in there with him. And as a team, you willing to take that chance. Hey, if we can get 70% of what he used to be, and he can teach our young guys some tips and some tricks or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's bring him in. This guy, never happen. It won't happen.
You won't get that call back.
You won't get that call back.
Like I said, if you guarantee me $60 million, your attitude gonna be different about a whole lot of stuff because I really don't gotta work anymore.
and
you know what I'm saying? Let's be real.
And that's the biggest thing when you talk about greatness and being great and your desire to be the best and to win. Because if you look at LeBron James at 18 years old and Nike gave him $90 million, or maybe even more than that, maybe closer to $100 million. He already had $100 million before he took one shot in the NBA. But at the same time, the work ethic is incredible.
Oh,
to be the best, to want to be the best. That's what makes you special.
Yeah.
Like you can't do something for money to be great at it.
No.
Like it's not for money. There's got to be a love of music. Before you you get hit records. There's got to be a love of football before you become a great football player. I don't think you're gonna hey, you like football? You can get a lot of money for it. Oh, okay. I don't think that player is gonna end up being great. It's something about because you're gonna get the accolades, you're gonna win the games, you're gonna get the contracts, you're gonna get the endorsements. But what keeps you going after that? Once you get that, first $90 million, because a lot of guys got that $90 million check and been like,
Listen,
where my boys
listen.
at? We gonna party.
Yeah. Well, listen. Let's be serious, right? You give it to yourself. You give yourself $100 million tomorrow. You give yourself, Doug, $100 million tomorrow. You give me $100 million tomorrow. You know, things are going to change. A whole bunch of stuff's going to change, right? But where's your focus going to be, right? Is your focus going to be, you know what? I got this big house. I'm in this house by myself. I got 12 TVs, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to keep you going? Yeah. Like, you don't have anything. And that's why I got to give the credit to these guys that have always had the money. Your Tom Brady's, your Roethlisbergers, your Drew Breeses, your Kobe Bryant's, your LeBron James, your Larry Fitzgerald's. The money is not about the money. Yeah. It's not about the money. It's like it's about yourself, uplifting yourself.
I want to be great.
You know, I want to be great. Yeah. Because you could have stopped playing 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, why you still doing? You already worth $100 million. You don't got to work for anybody anymore.
Your name, you can sign your name.
Yeah, you can go. Like you can go around the world every other week and collect money. But the fact that you want to be great,
leave a legacy.
Leave it. And that's because we seen guys. Listen, I remember I think it was the 1998 NBA lockout, right?
Oh, they was cracked. Them jokers was cracked.
But the thing about it is this, right? Now, we are in the tri-state area where we see a lot of professional athletes, whether that's New York, Philly, whatever. I remember seeing guys like, wait a second, when you playing sports, you are 185, 190. Why are you 245 right now? You know? Because I see where your focus is now, right? You got, oh man, we talking 310, right? But for some of your other guys, you didn't catch them out of shape, man. You know why? Because they said, you know what I do earn me what I have. And regardless of what they doing over there in terms of getting things together, it has nothing to do with me focusing on what I need to do. And some of these guys were like, look, I'm still playing every day like the season's still going on. Yeah. That's the guy that I want on my team because it's not about money with him. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah, it's about me. I'm representing me, and I'm representing.
I mean, I think it's a lot more guys like that than it is guys like Josh Norman and Beckham.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because that's how you survive.
If you watch when y'all get a chance to watch the Dawkins football life, man, the heart back to that. Like I just saw it last night. His wife had premature twins. And when they got to bring him home, he said he took the night shift with the twins.
Yeah.
Feeding them and all that. And he said, but he still had to train his body to be, be his best.
Something else going on there,
he had to go work, go to work, do all that stuff, and then come home, take a nap because he was back on the night shift. Yeah. You know what I mean? And his wife pointed out, like, he tried his best, but clearly he wasn't his best that year. He got injured a lot that year.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't for the lack of the effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't for the lack of the effort.
Listen, man, sometimes you got to look at.
He never made it an excuse.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You never knew about it.
Right.
While he was going through. I mean, his teammates probably knew his coaches, but nobody else knew that.
You go through stuff. We know, you can be the richest man in the world. You're going to go through some stuff, right? But this man, it's the sacrifice. And if somebody understands that sacrifice, that's where they fall in love with you at. You know what I'm saying? They see you putting those hours in.
And also, being a union guy too, I don't think that these guys understand the harm that they do to the next guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Josh Norman got his money, but what about the next guy that's a little bit flamboyant, that talks a little too much, but is a great player, but he's a hard worker. He's a team guy.
Right.
He's not going to be able to, they maybe don't give him his money because they see what happened when Josh Norman got his money. Or the next receiver that's a little bit, young and not and immature, he may not get his money because we see what Beckham does. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these guys don't understand that they're hurting the next guy.
Right.
The thing about it was, it kind of dropped off after the T.O., all that stuff that went for T.O., that next generation of receivers that came into the league for a minute, like Julio Jones was the best. He wasn't like that. You know what I mean? He even talked to T.O. and worked out with him. But he didn't really give, like, drama or anything.
AJ Green.
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes out there.
Guys,
but they
Johnson,
our media focuses on the wild guy for whatever. Focus on the guy who's handling his business.
Well, see, I understand that because those guys are the story, but they make themselves the story. But it's like, at what point are you content with being you? Like, at what point does, like you said, winning with Beckham, we lost. At what point does winning become primary to where I'm not worried about my stats or when we come off the field, instead of me throwing a tantrum, how about I go sit down with Eli and the offensive coordinator and we can figure out what routes he can throw. You know what I'm saying? Versus, like, let me go over here and kick the kicking net. And
instead of having a constructive conversation on what did you say? Like, did we have a misunderstanding?
I'm walking off at halftime before the rest of the team. What if everybody on the team decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to walk off.
Exactly.
Now what? You know what I'm saying?
Doing the trail technique, like you said, they're in cover two. They got two deep safeties and they're using a trail technique. Maybe you're not seeing that, whatever. We need to rub, we need to drag, we need to do some things. They could be productive.
Like nobody will ever convince me that type of ball player is the type of ball player you want. You just don't, man.
I want to tell them this.
Because listen, in the heat of battle, right? Yeah, it's going to go bad. Yeah. Right, I don't need you running when it's bad. I don't need you running. It's fight or flight. You know what I mean? With everything.
There's a great clip of Ray Lewis bringing his defense together in New England in the AFC Championship game, and he's saying, "Look, we know things are going to get bad. We know this is a battle. Mistake they're going to score." Like he was saying, we know things weren't going to go 100% right. We know that. Now we got to come together.
Yep.
We got to focus, and everybody do their job. Take care of your responsibility, and we'll lock this thing down and get back into it. Right. Not Ray Lewis running up and down the thing,
and he could have did it. And he could have did it. He could have did it. He could have acted the fool and just been crazy. But he was. He pulled them together. And that's what you do.
And I don't think. Like I said, I don't think Beckham will ever understand that. And like fans of his, they'll never understand. Like they'll always
because they in that.
Well, it's not his fault. Eli stinks.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what? We just not going to try to win because Eli stinks.
Listen, it was a certain players doing a certain era where if you could catch 7-8 balls and you could get your stats, you lose. You don't even want to party.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You get those stats right. You lose. You feel like you want to party. Mm-hmm. I don't want to party if I lost. I just don't want a loss in sports is not a good feeling. Right. It's just not. I don't care what you get. You in basketball, you can have 45 points. You lost.
Right. Definitely.
But now it switched to you got to get yours.
Definitely, it's all about mine.
Yeah.
I can hold my because now, like you say, because you'll hear the people say, and it's been back to the T.O. argument, at least that I could think of. You'll hear them say, "Well, it wasn't his fault that they lost."
Yeah, see, but see, they then converted to this attitude,
right? That
now, the media has now,
and now it's somebody's fault,
right?
It's not the team.
We lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
We win and lose together.
That 15-yard penalty he got me for celebration where I kicked off from this yard line and they got to that yard line. Right. That didn't affect anything. Nah, it did. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that it's always that person or that player's fault. We understand that there's a lot of mistakes made in the game, but that don't help. Don't help. And if you ever play a game where, for instance, like when Belichick and them shut down Marvin Harrison them year when they changed the rules to the right. So if you in that game, if Odell Beckham is in that game, they might as well take him out the game.
Oh yeah, because you worthless.
Even though it's a 1 or 2 possession game, because they beating it up so bad, you ain't getting the call, you ain't catching no balls, you falling to pieces.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to blame somebody.
You could catch 2 balls. You could catch 2 balls and still win.
Exactly. We got to figure out what they doing together.
Right.
You know what I mean? They stumping all of us, not just you, not just me. They got a plan that's beating all of us. Yeah. But that player like him will never, because all they'll say is, "Man, just throw me the ball."
Right.
Well, shit. I'm trying to.
So if you want me to throw you the ball, I just throw it up in the air. If that's what you want.
That's not in our game plan.
Throw you the ball. Yeah, like give me the ball.
That's what T.O. You think it's not in our game plan? And we threw you the ball 20 plus times on Jerry Rice Day. You think we not gonna throw you the ball?
Right.
But because we losing, just throw me the ball.
Right.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
See me, I couldn't be the coach because I'd be like, all right, hike the ball, throw it to him, and you better score.
Just like that.
Yeah,
no matter the
just
coverage.
throw you the ball, right?
Well, we got Mr. Carlton Perry. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I want to jump into the last team we even touch base on. We all believe Gruden. He's walking. And now let's talk about Jason Garrett, Dak, the Dallas Cowboys.
It's your boys, man. Throna Bush, I see you. You're Cowboys. I see you, Throna.
And it's not, and you know, what Dad's been going. It hasn't been about anybody being on the team. I mean, Alan Hearns has said some stuff. It's more about coaching and productivity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more about Jason Garrett and what he has done or has not done. It's been mediocre, and what Dak has regressed to. Started off 2016, and it's been downhill ever since. First 24 games, look like, okay, you got something here. After that, the last 8 games last year, 5 games this year, last 13 games, it's just been woeful.
The owner, man.
The offense looks, well, we know Jerry on the team. He ain't going to. The owner and GM ain't going nowhere. So to the good Lord called him home to the upper room.
This is.
I mean,
hey, listen.
So
this is what you get when when the owner does what he does. He listen. Dallas. See, sometimes it's easy to figure out, right? Dallas, they have money. They will spend the money, right, on what they got. But then the owner wants to control everything. So you're going to put a person in place who you can control.
And I think they've kind of like Steven is kind of, in all honesty, this whole new, like we're not spending any money like they have. They're going to get out of cap purgatory. They're out of cap purgatory, and it'll be like $70 million under the cap. They've kind of shut. There's a book out where Jerry wanted Jerry Manziel. There was 3 defensive players in that draft. Shazier, I forget the other 2 that went off the board. And Jerry's like, oh, now we can get Manziel. And he's running around the draft board. We can get Manziel. And everybody's calling like that quiet, awkward silence. Like,
right.
in the whole building or whatever. And he was like, we got to get Manziel.
That means that you need to sit your ass down somewhere. You got 15 other guys in the room, and nobody's with you. So that means to go sit down.
So they end up taking Zach Martin. And they end up taking Zach Martin, in the draft. And Jerry slapped Steven and be like, "See, son, that's you got to take risk. You got to take risk. You'll never be anything. If you
the risk of the early 1990s.
Yeah,
that's the what you call it? That's the ringmaster in him, man. He knew if he got Johnny Manziel, he ain't see Super Bowls. He saw dollar signs. You know how many tickets we can sell. You know how I can market this guy. You know how I can.
Right.
That's how Jerry Jones sees football. Like Sunni pointed out to me a while ago, as long as those guys are competitive, they don't even have to win. As long as the game is a 1-score game at the end and they could have won.
Like I said a long time ago, you got 32 teams, right?
Yeah.
In the NFL. The last I checked, these owners go 0-16. You think you still gonna be in the plus when it comes to checks?
And see, the thing about it is Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are 5.9, like almost $6 billion. When he comes in, he's still on the big table. He's got 3 Super Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's gonna be darn. I'm gonna do it my way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But getting back to like the X's and O's piece, I just see, for me being a Boys fan, I just see a stagnant offense. I see an offense from 1990. I just don't see anything ability that this staff can make adjustments on the fly. I think the 8 sacks against Atlanta shows that. Like if something goes wrong. And that's like, it's kind of like everything has to be perfect. Like that, everything has to be perfect in the pocket for him. Everything has to be perfect for Jason Garrett. You go 3 8-8 seasons, you go 12-4, and then you go 4-12. Just like when you're trying to figure out what somebody is, you take out their highest year, their lowest year, and see what's left in the middle and average that out.
Right.
Right.
So those 2, like he had 2 good years, and then he had the rest is 8-8, 9-7, really 8-8. He was a fumble against Oakland where the ball just fumbled out of the back of the end zone That was a loss. I mean, he really 8-8, and the Eagles had nothing to play for last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, he's been a 500 coach his whole career, basically, except for 2 years. And it doesn't seem any. I don't see it getting any better this year. I just don't.
There's, like you said, there's no need until it starts to hit Jerry Jones's his pocketbook.
Which is not going to ever happen.
And it's not going to ever happen.
Because he bought the Cowboys, what, $200 million? And you worth $6 billion?
So until it starts to get embarrassing to the point where the Cowboys stadium is louder, the home team has to use hand signals.
And he's still getting that check.
Because he's still going to get a check.
But he's
then
embarrassed.
They'll notice that those fans aren't from Dallas.
Yeah,
those
it's to point to embarrassing.
You're still making money, but your stadium is completely sold out of the other team's fans.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Shout out to Dave Harper in the building listening.
Oh, Dave, yo, man, Dave, I haven't seen you in so long. Guess what I need from you? All I want is a hug. That's it. Can you give that to me at least, man? What's up,
Dave? What's up, man? And that goes to show, man. It's like the hungry Jerry working post Jimmy Johnson has just really never been there. Like, you know, he had to bring Parcells in so he can get that stadium built because he needed some credibility. Then Parcells was like, I'm out of here. And then after that, he's just been like, and I give Garrett's not Rich Kotite. I mean, he's not an awful coach, but he's not a guy, the standard's been set that's going to get you over the hump. And after 9 or 10 years, 2 playoff wins. Well, he had 1 playoff win. Yeah. And that was a questionable call against Detroit, who hasn't won anything, whatever. But, you know, one of those 8-8 seasons, if he could have got in and got hot, you never know. Like,
right.
That's the thing. I just don't see the ability to make adjustments.
Hey, man, I know one thing. You got your owner has a lot of money. He's willing to spend it. And regardless of who's at your stadium and when it is packed and it's sold out. Yeah. Regardless.
And the thing about it is that's the thing about Jerry will spend on free agency. Like, if you're going to be a coach and if you really, really need something, Jerry will do it. Like, Jerry. Jerry, and he takes care of his players regardless of whatever you want to do.
Well, Jerry was upset because once you start talking about free agency, right? Jerry was upset that it was a cap on it. Yeah. Because if it's not a cap on free agency, Jerry's going to be like, I want you, and I'm paying. Let's go. Let's win. No, Jerry, we can't do it like that. Yeah. This can't be Jerry's world. Yeah. We got 32 other teams. We got an organization that has to be, you know, for everybody to spread evenly. But he's the guy that says, oh, let's get this rule in where I can get everybody I want, and we gonna win 8 straight championships. No, Jerry, it doesn't work like that, brother.
Shout out to Omar Madison. He's checking in. He's a fellow Steeler Nation, dude.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
These guys, man. I really don't get it, man. Like, how do you not want to win? How do you look at Jason Garrett and keep just bringing him back? Like, how do you see?
Well, listen.
Discipline on the field.
When it gets tough, or when it gets good, and I can make the call from my house, from my 30-room mansion with 12 bathrooms, and I can say, listen, I like what you're doing, but I still want you to do it this way. And then I think that's what that's about. Now, Jerry doesn't want that guy in there who says, "Leave me alone." Let me run. That's already been established. That's already been established.
Like, you got to be able to work with Jerry. How many guys can work with Jerry? There's nothing wrong with being able. Look, I need somebody that I can work with. We understand
that. But what does that mean, though? But what does that mean?
But it can't be to the detriment of the team.
Right. If I'm the billionaire, right? And
look, I'm gonna have shoes. Look, Jerry's like, you gonna coach for me, but I gotta talk to the press every week. Like, this is my thing. Like, you know,
if I'm the billionaire, right? And I'm hiring you and your staff and all that stuff, guess what? I'm going to let you run it. I'm not trying to run anything. That's why I hired you.
Right.
But you so power-driven that when I make the call, I need to see what I told you to do. You want some power stuff then. You know what I mean? And you can't handle guys that if you bring them in,
they're going to push back.
Yeah. You can't handle it. You can't. The guy that says, Jerry, listen, this is what I started, this is what I'm doing, and this is gonna win us, he might be like, how dare this MFer tell me what I'm supposed to do? I'm the billionaire. I sign your checks. You got a power problem, then. You know what I mean?
We saw that. That's the reason why Jimmy Johnson.
Right. Exactly.
I just think even Jerry, for his power problems and everything that he got, he sits in the box game after game after game and see the same thing we see. He see these offenses evolving to, motion and jet sweeps and jet passes and this, that, and the third. And he still sees, double curls. You know what I mean? Like, how could you look at your team?
Yo, you just say the double curl.
Yeah, double curl.
Not the one curl.
No, double
the
curl.
Double.
Yeah.
And this coaching decisions, like, you built your team on physicality. We want to finish the fight. Third down, you put Beasley in the backfield with Zeke. Nobody in the world believes you're going to run option with Beasley. The ball's going to Zeke. Where's your fullback? If you talk about being physical, if it finish the fight, that's the part where you third one. We got our fullback. We're gonna put all these tight ends, and we're gonna come be physical. We drafted offensive linemen. We drafted the number 4 pick as a running back
just
for this moment.
4th and 1.
Yeah. This is it. This is what we do in overtime. This is what we picked for.
Well,
we didn't take defensive ends. We didn't take cornerbacks. We took offensive linemen and a running back for this moment right now.
But we see
new offensive line coach, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we see in and out of football. We can go to high school, use that Friday Night Lights. We can go to high school. We can go to college. We can go to the pros. And what we find out now is these no matter the money and what you sign the contract for, you can make a decision just like they did, right? 4th and 1, I got a good line. I got a great back. I'm giving him the ball.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
So guess what? If I give him the ball and he does not get it, I'm gonna live with it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep well. I'm gonna sleep well.
You tip your hat to him, like
exactly.
And I think
we did it and it didn't work.
Well, here's the thing: like everybody, a lot of times we watch the game and we take whether a call is good or bad by success, and it's not whether it's good or bad by success. It could have been like poor execution. That's what could have happened. But you live with it. Like, sometimes a bad play is successful and a good play isn't. Just like Scott Linehan had schemed the tight end wide open, but Zach Martin got beat by Watt and Dak got sacked. And things happen, but you look at the strategy and say, hey, like, this doesn't make any sense. This is what you built your whole team and drafted around for this very moment. Look, we haven't been successful at it before, but this is what we built for. If we can line up our fullback, bring in our tight ends on 3rd and 1 and run the ball twice and get a first down and keep the pressure in overtime and go score, then what are we doing? Because we're not going to outscore anybody. This is where we need the game to be.
Right.
We can't get into the shootout. We got into overtime and we got a yard. Let's not take B's. Let's go power. Let's be physical. Let's finish the fight. We got 2 downs to get this.
Yes.
We're giving it to Zeke and let's finish it. That's what you want to do.
The worst thing is, and we've seen it because, and being collegiate athletes, all of us, right? You do not want to lose your players. How you lose your players is, let's go into overtime. Let's give an example, right? The score can be 0-0. It can be 95-95. It can be 30-30, right? You're going to punt to me, 3 and out. We punting back and forth to each other. Guess what? If you want to do that, we'll be here till the next morning, right? How you lose your players is if the players look around each other and say, look, we were on, in football, we were on the 40-yard line, right?
Yeah.
It was 4th and 1. We got an All-American back here. You decided that you don't want to give it to him and you wanted to punt just because you scared to lose. Right?
Yeah.
Your player, that's how you lose your players. Yeah. Sometimes when you lose, your players will say to you, oh, you know what? Our coach, we fell fighting.
Right.
And that's the name of the game. And that's the name of the game.
Like you would have if I'm on that
rather
team,
for
I'd
you
rather lose trying to fight,
and
then they get it and kick the field versus punt it to them and then they do what they do. Because I mean, who knows? That could have been the letdown.
Exactly.
That could have been the defense saying, "Damn, what are we doing?"
And that's my point. But you want to play for 6 hours a night.
And it's and the whole defensive strategy has been bend but don't break. It wasn't, it's just crazy. But yeah, I think this will be the last year of Garrett. He throws in another 8, not a deep playoff run and stuff like that.
I can't see how we gonna make it to 8.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, you said that, not me.
Yeah. I'm be honest. It's real. I keep it 100. Like I'm not that. I'm not a rah-rah. Dallas Cowboy Confidential. I ain't a rah-rah pom-pom type of page. It's about the truth or whatever. But big game. New England Patriots at the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the game this week.
Mahomes, man, I'm telling you.
I just want to point out one thing. I don't know about the scheduling, and I'm not a conspiracy guy.
Yes, you are.
But New England had the Dolphins at home. They beat the Dolphins at home.
We said the Dolphins?
Yeah, the Dolphins at home.
Okay.
Then they get at home the Colts. Sure, they always beat the heck out of the Colts. And Thursday night, they bring the Colts in. And we'll get 10 days rest before we have to play the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and that game's going to be at home, too.
So what you saying? Like, what you saying? That somebody knows somebody to get that flowing like it is?
I would take that schedule. I mean, prep time, whatever, Well, the AFC East is weak anyway.
Yeah.
And then you get the Colts, like, on the shore, but they're going to play the Colts. They beat the brakes off the Colts all the time. And then now you play, and Kansas City was at Denver, and then they had Jacksonville home. And now they come into Foxborough.
Short week.
Did they play Monday night? Did they play?
No, they played on. They played Sunday.
They played Sunday. Yeah, they cool. But they played Jacksonville on the short week.
I love listen.
Yeah, they played.
I mean, hey man, KC, you gotta take the crown.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because it's early and just the Mahomes could become the youngest quarterback to beat Belichick and Brady.
I saw that
on the road at New England.
Kaepernick
currently holds the record.
I love it. I love it. Listen, man.
The only guy.
The Patrick Mahomes is the real deal.
He's nice.
You said he's the real. See, because look, man, sometimes you don't need to wait on anything. If you hear people, oh no, it's early in the season. We need to wait on this. We need to wait on that. Guess what? When I see you as a quarterback, you're already mobile. You have an arm, right? You can make every throw. Because sometimes we get these young quarterbacks. They got a strong arm and they just looking for deep balls. That's not the case here.
Yeah, he can do
when I look at these young guys coming out in quarterbacks, I'll be looking at decision making. This guy, I'm looking for a flaw. And like I was speaking about last time we was talking, Sunni. The minute that I say I'm looking for you to do something to fail, you a winner to me.
Yeah, because you doing everything.
Yeah, I'm trying. Everything else is right. I'm sitting here like, wait a second. Yeah. This guy got to be ready to do something wrong. How about there is no wrong? Will he? You know what I'm saying?
And he was in the right system. With the right coach with the right weapons. They set him down for a year. And what I noticed about the offenses, and especially with golf, when I'm, because I'm looking, at Dak and all the struggles and everything in Dallas, is that they have constructed an offense that has a lot of passes that are like 5 yards or at the line of scrimmage. Like they run the ball, extension, long handoffs, kind of keep. And the Eagles do the same thing with their tight ends. Their tight end is going almost at like 100 catches this year.
Right.
They stay ahead of it's like a drive starter. Like they're always going to try to stay ahead of the chains. 2nd and 4, a 2nd and 6 along that lines, and have the quickness in the backs to be able to do it. So and it's like, and to be able to take that and bring a quarterback on slowly but surely, like we look at Goff now that he's with the Rams and with McVay. And that's what's been the tremendous part about it. And also, it's not too big for him because his dad was a major league pitcher. And he's been in major league clubhouses as a kid.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
So
it's easy.
Around.
We know how to handle things over here.
He's been around like.
Hey, KC's gonna win this game, man. All because of him.
I like the kid Mahomes. I mean, he has a ton of weapons around him, and I guess the next thing for him would be how does he progress? And this is 3-4 years from now when they possibly lose Kelsey or Tyreek Hill
and Andy Reid,
and he's playing, you know what I'm saying, with different players, different talent level. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll see like his next step. We see what he can do.
Right. Yeah. I think he's so great, and I don't like. See, this is the tough thing for me. I can't give these guys R.I.P. Denny Green. You want to crown him? You want to crown him? I'm not going there. But you know, the eye test is everything, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's everything. This is what you want to see. Can somebody tell me a weakness that this guy has?
Nah.
You see, that's my thing.
Right, I agree.
That's my thing. Because what we do to young quarterbacks, right? What we do to either if you in it, we coming. We different stuff.
We gonna mix
like
it up
I'm looking for this guy to be uncomfortable,
right?
And I can't find it.
So part of my thing with that is, like I said, I haven't seen it either. But I think when you got a Tyreek Hill and a mismatch with Kelsey and these guys like Andy Reid, you can scheme out some of the things that the defense can do. Now we all know that once these rookies get paid, quarterbacks, that they lose.
Oh yeah,
they lose guys
without a doubt.
So like for instance, Russell Wilson, we saw him play, come in, take that team.
Really had guys in beast mode,
right? Yeah. And then when he got paid, we see the defense starting to fall apart because they don't have. But we still see Russell Wilson making plays. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still running around for his life back there, making these throws on the run.
It seems like Russell been running for his life the last 3.
Right. So that's my.
That's
point.
what they predicated on doing what they do.
And that's my point with Mahomes. When he gets paid and he loses those guys, and now you can't scheme 2 safeties deep because nobody's worried about the non-Tyreek Hill that's not out there. You know what I'm saying? And now they are in your face, and now they can blitz from this angle or that position. You know, now we get to see his evolution. But right now, and I mean that happened with everybody. Like Brady was not putting up these type of numbers when he first took over.
They're playing defense and running.
Right, it took him a while to get into become who he is.
And once they changed the rules, Belichick is like, "Oh, we got to go offense. We got to throw the ball."
And then I guess at some point, at a certain point, he got to where everything slowed down for him.
Absolutely.
And now he can see it.
So he can master
the defense. Right. So hopefully, you know, I believe, and if Mahomes gets that while he still has these weapons, and all his athletic ability,
I don't see what I see from this guy moving forward is
because on that Monday night game, he was on hot pursuit. Denver was up by 10.
Oh yeah,
and he made even a left hand throw, but he was on the move, making plays.
Because
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly
like,
what I'm saying.
When the playoffs start, he will have never been through it.
Of course,
so he won't know. He didn't know the intensity level of the regular season until he got in.
Right.
And he's killing it. Yeah. But now he's going to need another gear. Like he's going to have to, you know, summon up another a level of fortitude, I guess, because in the playoffs those things aren't going to happen easily.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is where, and shout out to Bo Donaldson. My boy Bo Donaldson.
Shout out.
He journeyman in Major League Baseball. He had opportunity to play with Patrick Mahomes' father.
Okay.
Right? So now we share stories about Patrick Mahomes' father, about what type of professional he was. Now, when you surrounded by guys like, now just hear me for a second, A-Rod, Derek Jeter, when you are knee high, right? When playoffs come, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be like, this is just a football game. Because we see right now, it's something about you that makes everybody say like, wait a second. How the hell are you making all these throws and you calm at doing it? Yeah. You're not looking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you've been groomed for this. Mm-hmm. And you can say, you can stop playing football today, right? You can go throw a baseball. That's the guy I don't need on my. That's the guy I need up under center.
Elway.
Yeah, you see, Sunni, you told on yourself. Now you understand where I'm coming from,
John.
Listen. I agree with you, man. I just.
He's a special guy, man.
It just can't be this sweet, this soon. It's never been.
I know, because we didn't see it.
Because
we didn't see it.
Yeah, wait for the shoe to drop. Like,
and I don't think it's going.
That's a sign of greatness. When we waiting for him to fall. When we waiting for him to fall, because we seen stuff that we haven't seen with this guy.
I don't think. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, we all watch him. I don't think it's going to drop to where now all of a sudden he's going to be RG3 come next year. I don't think that.
Nah.
I just think I just can't see where NFL defenses And it actually has gotten harder the last few weeks.
Yeah.
It hasn't been.
Oh yeah.
He had some good matchups. He played the Steelers secondary.
Right. So it was that Denver game. It was nice watching him in that Denver game. It was nice to watch.
Jacksonville too. I mean, look,
and Jacksonville. Now, I wish Blake Bortles would have played better in the game.
But we can't go by that. We
can't
go by that.
Not for Mahomes. He played great, but I'm saying like Jacksonville was still in that game if Bortles. Not turning the ball over at his 5-yard line. Right. You know, several times.
But when Mahomes gets in, he did what he was supposed to do.
He absolutely
and that's my point right there.
Against the best defense.
And that's
in the league.
when I saw the score 20-0, because I think that Jacksonville, right, they're our measuring stick when it comes to defense right now. Yes. So when I see you go up 20-0, I'm like, hold on a second. Then I look at your offense, what your offense is doing. Because your defense could have been, your quarterback could have been playing like he wasn't in the game today or whatever. But then every time you get in the game, things just flow.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, this is just who this guy is, you know?
Yeah. And I think I think to Jacksonville's credit, they got one of them mouthy guys down there too.
Yeah.
And but the video, the mic'd up part I saw, they actually stayed together in the game. Like, oh man, all we need is one play. We right back in it. You know, they haven't done anything special. We got them. We just need the O to make a play. Come on, Blake, you got him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know,
Blake's a bum.
Yeah. It wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
He's not tweeting on a sideline. Blake is effing trash. You know, something like
right.
So like right now, like I don't want to get it. I don't want to get things just to go back to where we were at with Beckham and them guys. Like I don't want to get things like, you know, I'm not for, you know, trash talk. I talk trash a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean, like what Ramsey does, I like what he does. But when he talks about himself, then he talks about the team. Yeah. Like us, he never does what. I've never seen him do anything to actually take away from the team.
Right. Yeah, the team, like you never hear him going about doing an interview. And like here's a classic. The Ramsey, great defense, you player, you great. You think you had a better quarterback, you guys could win the Super Bowl? Like you don't
He actually said I think we should have won had the team had more faith in Blake like we did against the Patriots last year.
I need him.
He said
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need him.
He said like instead of like I don't know.
Yeah, that to me,
what
that's
you
the
really want to
difference
say,
between,
right?
And that's the difference between. And the thing is, they might actually have had that conversation, and they should have let Blake throw the ball instead of taking it out of his hands. He was killing them. We would have won. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's the conversation they had because I believe guys that don't bite their tongue, they don't bite their tongue. Mm-hmm. So if I believe this, I'm going to say this. And
if they don't bite their tongue, see, because what happens is if they don't bite their tongue, we're going to see if they really know what they're talking about.
Right.
Because we can make that evaluation as men. You know what I mean? And we can say, oh, no, this guy's off the crazy. Oh, no, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
That's the classic situation where it's easy as a defensive player to say, yeah, that guy and those guys are killing us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't. And like you said, Ray Lewis, that was one of my dudes back in the day. I mean, he going left on me a little bit lately. But
CTE,
he's one of my dudes, right?
Can't deny it. Can't deny it.
Yeah, him and Dark was my dudes, but he's going left. But when they had that defense and Trent Dilfer was their quarterback, they could have easily said something.
Oh yeah,
when they won the Super Bowl, now he said it recently that the biggest mistake they made and the team was pissed off about it that they didn't bring Trent Dilfer back because they already won. They knew what we could do with Trent Dilfer. Right. So when they brought in Gurr back after letting Dilfer go, they could have jumped down his throat. Didn't. They brought in Kyle Bowler. They could have jumped down his throat. Didn't. Always stayed with him. It was always, man, look, just give me 17 points.
Exactly.
Look, just do this. We got him.
Whoever
it
was
are. Always that. You know what I mean? And to me, when players talk and they outspoken and that's the conversation you need to have. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if at some point you throw a helmet because you're trying to get a point across, you throw a helmet. But to be doing this because you not getting your stats and come on.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, come back, and we're gonna jump into a little bit the NBA and another situation with another player and the Minnesota Timberwolves and what they should have, how they do to handle their situation. We'll be right back. Sports Talk Live for the Ranch, Sports Talk for the Culture. Peace. We back live from the ranch. Brief interlude. Dude,
yo,
knocking down that single cut over there.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Anything that you see me drinking over here, I don't know nothing about.
Definitely. We back. Well, we talked a little bit about NFL. We'll jump into NBA real quick. We're going to do an NBA pre league show one of these Saturdays when everything about to jump off. It'll be very interesting to see. One of the stories is Jimmy Butler situation out in the Minnesota Timberwolves. I guess Jimmy don't want to be a Timberwolf. I mean, I think he wants to move on and do something else or play for another team. And he had a blowout. He took in practice, and he took some bench players, beat the starters, yelled at the GM, you bleeping need me, whatever. And now he seems to be on the block. Pat Riley inquired about him to Thibodeau. Pat said what Thibodeau was asking for. Pat Riley came back. Who the bleep you think Jimmy Butler is? Like, so it's just
that's where we at. We just had a conversation just like that.
It was like who do you think he is? But it's interesting. But it goes to the point in this NBA, and we criticize guys for getting together and being on super teams and wanting to win. But you still have to play as a team. The Jimmy Butler situation. He wants to move or go to a big market. I'm assuming that's what I heard, but you're not sure. How do you think the Timberwolves will handle this situation?
I think Jimmy somewhat overvalues Jimmy.
Yeah,
myself, and just like we were talking about Beckham and Brown and these guys, they want to win and all this other stuff. Man, these guys is all frauds. If you ask me, he said he wants to go somewhere where he can win. Yet his initial list that he put out, the teams he wanted to go to was like the Clippers, the Nets, the Knicks, and
so he don't need to go anywhere. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he wants to go somewhere where he can. I would imagine if we looked at those teams and kind of cross-reference their cap space next year, they would be able to offer him a lot of money.
Yeah,
and probably some other. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say money?
Yeah. So I don't think it's about winning, and you know, and keep in mind this was the same guy. I believe it was just like a mutiny 2 years ago when he was in Chicago, and he was saying like the young players there didn't care for him, right? Or they didn't care for him and D Wade, but. You know, D Wade on his way out.
Yeah.
Right. Ain't much you can say to D Wade. He's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, D Wade's a all-time player.
Right.
Now, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, right now Jimmy Butler is Spreewell. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs a few more years at this level or higher to be considered who he thinks he is. And I mean, just you know, just if you want out, you want out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see,
don't sugarcoat the reason why.
Right. Let's keep it. You know, as men, we want to keep it, or ladies also. We got a lot of females in our sports spectrum, right?
Chris Clark checking out,
right? Let's be real about it. If we want to place our top tier players, we're not like saying, okay, we need Jimmy to put us over the top.
Not at all.
That's not it. So. Back to, to Minnesota, right? Mm-hmm. And that has nothing to say about Jimmy because Jimmy does bring toughness. Mm-hmm. He's coming to play hard. He's coming to do that. But, and you do have to be special to obviously be in the NBA. But we got LeBron. We got Anthony Davis. We got our special out there, KD's. He's not in that type of mold. Mm-hmm. But I'll take him, but I'm not breaking the bank. So you look at his team, right? This is where the beef comes in. This is the part that they probably won't give us, right? They're big wigs on their team, right? We got the Cat, right? Mm-hmm. Great player, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What kind of deal he get? Max deal?
Max deal, yep.
Who we got after that? Wiggins get a max deal?
I'm not sure if he got a max deal.
Wiggins got a will. Wiggins, he got a max deal.
Okay.
Right? Does Butler have a max deal?
I don't think so.
There we go with the beef. If I think I'm better than you and they done maxed you all out, I might need my money too.
Yeah.
So there we go. Do we need to really bring anything up.
And is Minnesota going to pay the luxury tax or whatever they have in the NBA? It's not a hard
Exactly.
And I think that's what he knows, and that's why
in a small market,
Nets, you know what I'm saying, Clippers,
and I think it comes to the point where he says, and from his point of view, it was like, if I'm in free agency and the guy goes, well, the Timberwolves max the other two guys. They didn't max you,
right?
Why would I? Why would I give you a max deal when you didn't earn a max deal on the team that you was with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's that guy that some team will max out and they'll be 40 and 40.
Oh yeah, they'll be. It's it. That's it. They're gonna fill the stands because of him, but you're not going any.
He hasn't carried anybody anywhere that I could remember, to my knowledge. I think like the playoff wins that his team has had. He might have been like the sixth man coming off the bench at the time. So, I guess Team USA and All-Star nods, make you, max player, I guess, or in your mind, like it makes you better than what you think. Like for some reason,
because I just don't see him. I don't see him like, man, Jimmy Butler just carried them to the second round of the playoffs when they shouldn't have got there. Or they've been, or they're playing an upper seed, and he was the difference on the reason they upset an upper seed.
Right.
I haven't seen him in the postseason put in that type of work.
I haven't seen.
Nah. And we're not gonna get it because we'll see a 25 guy at best.
Yeah.
That can't go for 45.
He's an all-around player.
Right. But like I said, it's something.
He's a good player.
He's not the first option for you in terms of winning. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
He's not my guy.
But you could use him.
Yeah, he's not my guy.
He brings toughness.
I think they said they offered him to the Sixers. They wanted Ben Simmons in the building.
Oh no!
That's crazy. Like,
yeah.
And that's why Pat Riley was like, "Who the hell do you think he is?" That's how he came out.
At this point,
we do have some suckers out there, so you try them. You try them.
If you never ask, the questions always know the answer.
There you go.
You figure we know. Like I remember, like we just talked about that 11 Miami series when they lost to Dallas.
Yeah.
And at that point, LeBron was already clearly. I would say not clearly, but he was the best, one of the best, if not the best player in the league at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we could still see in his game, man, if he developed this post game,
absolutely.
Where do we see Jimmy Butler developing anything, making himself
better?
Right. Than what he is.
What we see is what we get.
Right. You know what I mean? KD, oh man, if he get a little stronger, if he gets a little more of this, you know what I mean? If he rebounds a little better. Which is all stuff he's done at Golden State. We've seen it. We've seen it where these guys were already top tier players, and then they added something to their game where they got better. And that's why
I wanted to bring up Golden State, because it's all about getting on a team. It's all about teamwork. Like you got to put together a team. It's all not about laying down the most talented guys.
Right.
Golden State
in any sport.
Talent.
In any sport.
Right.
But they're bonded together by a team. Like they had to come together and beat LeBron. Like the Avengers are taking on the Thanos.
Right. They couldn't beat him.
Yeah. So it's different, but they come together and play as a team. So if somebody's up, somebody's down, you have to be able to sacrifice and know, no matter how much you feel like, wow, they need everybody on that team, and that's the best thing about a team. Like in that series against Cleveland, players had bad games, and other players stepped up, dropped 40. That's the whole point about
several bad games.
Yeah,
and they still beat them.
Right.
So shout out to JR. So that's what you have to do. It's not about like everybody saying putting together a super team, but you got to put the right parts together and the people that can be able to work and function together. That's the whole key of winning, and that's the whole point. Like, yeah, they're a team, they're stacked, they're loaded, but they're a team. They're just not individual talent out there. Playing and not getting along and worrying about this and that. Because when you win a championship, there's enough support to go around. Definitely. Moving forward. But I want to talk about the other event that happened. You guys, UFC guys, followed into the UFC. Definitely. Definitely. Hold on. Yes?
The UFC. Hey, listen, isn't it kind of what we want? The UFC.
Yeah, that's what we want.
I'm at the pause and check my bank account. Okay. Cool.
You got to pause and check the account. Are we okay?
Yeah,
everything all right? All right.
Yeah. I think what happened in the UFC the other day kind of put the UFC itself on blast. Like you either going to be you know, you're gonna be the real version of the WWE.
Yeah.
You're gonna be, you know, a legit sport. Like, you can't let Conor McGregor run around as much as everybody likes him and likes to laugh at him. You can't let him run around and do what he wants, say what he wants, whoever he wants to do it, and then get on the other person when they retaliate how they feel they need to retaliate.
Yeah, like I said, like that whole Kahii, how you pronounce his name? Kahii? His whole organization, the cruelty, is about that life. And I think McGregor does a lot of stuff. Him and Floyd is kind of like, I'm trying to get, you know, people up, trying to
commercial part of the game.
Like, he's selling the fight. Right. But I don't think he understand that. I mean, kind of took it too far. His wife, his religion, and stuff like that. You usually don't talk about. But he talked about that with the wrong guy.
Oh yeah,
like, some other guy doing this with
it.
I think I'm not a UFC expert, but from him wrestling a bear when he was a kid,
I saw that video,
and all this other stuff. This might before you getting involved, you gotta know your enemy.
You gotta know.
This may not be the guy that you need to do all this with, because it was clear that he took it personal.
Yeah,
and his whole crew took it personal. Like,
It was a classic thing. Like, I remember Bernard Hopkins grabbing the Puerto Rican flag from Trinidad and throwing it down. But then afterwards, he kind of let Trinidad know after the fight, you know, listen, man, it was all about that.
I was at that fight. They still banned him from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it was like, you know, I'm just trying to sell tickets for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing personal, whatever, after the fact. And I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's what Conor and Floyd said to each other when they hugged. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
I told you we could do it.
I carried it. $100 million.
We did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember all that stuff you said about me? I told you it would work. We did it. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're rich.
We both got $100 million.
So
for a sparring session.
I do believe that was Conor's. You know, that was his twist. All his career, you know, because I watch him on YouTube. It's the funny stuff he say, the funny stuff he do.
Yeah.
And, you know, we laugh at it, but you never think that the other person, you never know how the other person's taking that. Yeah. And like you said, it just so happened this time that the guy took it. So the Dana White, the UFC head or whatever, they need to fall back from this, hey, this guy's a disgrace and he needs to be. Nah, listen, man. Conor need to step up and say, listen, man, we gonna fight again.
Yeah, definitely. That's
plain and simple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plain and
he
simple.
Choked him out. I mean, like, he tapped him out. He choked him out.
And it's not even any, they don't even have, he doesn't even have to do his typical Conor thing for this fight because everybody wants to see him fight again.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, yo, chill. Banning him from the UFC. What? Nah, I want to fight him again. You know what I mean? I want to fight him again.
I mean, as the business owner, as Dana White, why wouldn't you want to see him fight again?
And I think he's
who's there? Like, who else is there as marketable? I think from the UFC. Like,
I think Dana White is in uncharted territory because he's used to everybody loving the UFC, loving the. Now you had a section of people after this happened coming out saying, "Oh, this is disgraceful.
Right.
Yeah. That's why this sport is this." Yeah. And now he feel like he need to answer that, right? But with the way he's answering it is like, "Hey, man, nah, we ain't pressing no charges. We getting in the ring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen,
we gonna get in the ring.
If everybody could settle in the ring, our world would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that goes for presidents and whatever, you know, get in the ring.
I mean, and that's the whole point. I think you get to the part where you have your marketing campaign, your strategy, and you see it going, and that's what it do. That's what Floyd has been brilliant at. People paying pay-per-view to see him lose. And that's taking that animosity and turning it into a billion-dollar enterprise, Money Mayweather, and I think McGregor is the same way, trying to take that point. It just got to the point where he was dealing with individuals, like I said, who were about that life. They ain't all about the chuckle,
right?
And they're not worried about the money or the finance. I kind of do this because I like to do this. I like getting paid, but I really like.
He actually said that.
Yeah.
Money.
Right.
He said it.
I mean,
hey, listen, when somebody tell you keep the money, you might have to get the metal detectors and everything.
But that's just the sports climate that we're in, and the UFC. I mean, it's real interesting because I know a lot of people to follow the UFC. I kind of get into it a little bit with the big matches and everything like that. It started out when I was working at Prime Star with Hoist Gracie and all those cats, and it's kind of grown to what it is with the weight classes and everything like that. but you really don't see the big push behind UFC. UFC, from my knowledge, they don't have a guy that gets with Mayweather, the top boxing guys get for their pay-per-view events. Moving forward. So
Mayweather changed the game. You know.
I mean, it's such HBO is dropping out of boxing, ESPN has picked it up. It's going to be interesting to see moving forward. How this plays out. And when I first heard they were going to, suspend and take the belt from, I was like, well, how you going to do that? Because, the other guy, he's been wilding out for the last, But I thought McGregor's wilding out was, because remember the short talk about Floyd getting in the octagon? Remember those rumors? Yeah, I knew Floyd wasn't getting no goddamn octagon.
No. Why? Why? For what?
Why would Floyd get in the octagon? Ain't no.
Let's keep this thing boxing. Let's keep it this because you still gonna get your money messing with me while I'm gonna wrestle you.
Exactly. So Floyd's trying to push up, the Manny Pacquiao resurgence, another fight now, not fighting any of these young cats, Earl Spence Jr. These cats out here that's dangerous and about that life. So I mean, I'm not mad at him. If people want to pay for geezers at the Caesars, you know what I mean? And they want to do pay-per-view.
Hey man, it's a weekend event. You know what I mean? You got the fight and you got gambling, you got everything.
And it's for that 65 ARP crowd. So I mean, definitely, if you want to go and do it. You can get paid for it. I ain't gonna be mad at you. But yeah, definitely the UFC needed something. I mean, they needed something to bring around the Rousey. She left. The women has been like any the spark that she brought.
You gotta market your brand, man.
You gotta market. Jones has his issues. I mean, he was marketable, but he was kind of falling off. And for the heavyweight and the light heavyweight division.
Speaking of Jones, right? I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
So somebody asked him, said something to John Jones Jr. like, "Hey, you need to fight Khabib, whatever his name is. You need to fight him." And And John Jones said, "Man, are you kidding me? I just watched the same thing you just watched."
Yo, even Mike Tyson, they said, chimed in and said, "Yo, they got." When Mike Tyson comment like, "Yo, these guys out of pocket," like
Tyson was like, "Yeah, this brawl worse than my brawl." Like I said, man, it'll be just weird if they do something to this guy and they've never done anything to Conor McGregor, who's disrespected anybody that he's fought. Anybody. People that he hasn't fought.
Yeah. Shout out to my bull Rap Curry, athletic director.
What's up, Rap?
St. Joe's, alumni basketball player. Definitely. I was with Rap last night. We were kicking out this joint venture with the Friday Night Lights, and got to meet one of his student athletes. Tavon is going to be a running back for Temple next year.
Oh yeah, TU.
Had a very inspirational story that he overcame a lot of personal and educational challenges to be able to
Man,
move
glad
up.
to hear it. Glad to hear it. Rap said that Dana White is like the record exec that got shook when the guns came out.
Yeah, like definitely like. Oh, I mean, you've been putting this thing together, Power Cake. This is business. This is just this is all show.
All the way down to the 5 heartbeats. My business hours are from 5 to 9.
Yeah, but like the man said, it ain't show friends, it's show business.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
every time I hear Rap Curry, I think about my man Keith Wood that I grew up with. Shout out McCaff, 89, Chester High basketball.
Yeah. Oh, that game, the 89 game.
Yeah.
Oh, 89 game.
Okay.
Yeah,
little history.
I remember Keith Wood was at the line singing too to win it.
Yeah, definitely. There was somebody from Penwood that missed some foul shots in that game too. I was up, but I always kept that 89 Chester team. Was one of the.
Yeah, I was a young buck, but I was in the 8th grade.
But that 89 Chester team was one of the best teams. I think.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I get in an argument all the time because of who they played against. Because just a little sidebar, little Chester basketball. Because there was a kid that played at Ridley.
Bobby Robinson too. He grew up in the hood too.
Got in trouble, went to Glen Mills, and the only thing Glen Mills needed was a point guard. Glen Mills had size, whatever, and Bobby was an excellent point guard. And they played that double, triple overtime game out in Westchester. And definitely fun. It was a great class. I'm a Delco historian too, so
that was the year that Del Val had the 3 best teams in the state.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was unbelievable. Shout out. Definitely. Tim Funk checking in. Hey, Tim, AP alumni graduate.
What's up, Funk?
Yeah, definitely. Moving forward, we're going to talk about this little boxing match on coming up next.
Yeah, I heard some trash about that too.
Yeah,
and the mom got in it this time, huh?
The mom. Well, Crawford's mom's about the. When we talk about being about that life,
Somebody threw a jab, right?
yeah. Crawford threw a jab at the thing at the weigh-in, at the weigh-in. They have a spot, but yeah, Crawford's mom. Basically, Crawford's mom is like, you know, mom around the way. Boy, go.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? He said it. He did. He said, "Okay, well, okay, all right, here we come."
I ain't here to break it up. No, you go take care of that business. Mama said, "LL Cool J." Mama said, "Knock him out." Like that's what basically Mama said. You know, to get up here, welterweight fight. You know, Crawford wants to get the Errol Spence Jr. whatever. This boy, Benavidez is a puncher too, and I guess the winner of this fight will get Errol Spence Jr. Crawford is very talented, you know, lightweight moving up the welter. I mean, I think that's, you know, where the money is. There's a lot of welterweights right now. We're still waiting for Keith. Where you at? Going to fight sometime Thurman. He hasn't fought in a while. I don't know where he at, but Crawford is definitely, I think, could be the money man. I mean, he could be the money man in this division. Moving up, you know, with Earl Spence Jr., they have to fight. I mean, that's definitely a pay-per-view fight. Canelo is supposed to be moving up out of middleweight to super middle, so he's moving up. I don't know if he's trying to avoid the Charlo brothers or who is he trying to avoid to keep moving up in weight, but definitely I think the guy he's going to fight next is not as good as any of those welterweights that are still there in the division. But you feel about boxing? Like, the boxing is, you know, HBO is getting out of the boxing game, which is interesting. They're moving on from it after 2018. They've done a lot for pay-per-view, a lot of Friday night, you know, after the light fights. ESPN is taking it on. Do you think boxing can get a resurgence? Because, like, even during the Olympics, like the TV shows, the channels that cover the Olympics don't cover boxing anymore. I'm still a big boxing fan. I love boxing.
I don't think it. I guess the problem I have with boxing is like, unlike all the other sports, football, basketball, like, we see Alabama and Auburn, or we'll see Alabama and Ohio State this year. We'll see New England and Kansas City this year. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to see the marquee matchups that we want to see, and too often to the detriment of boxing, we don't get to see the matchups we want to see.
Right.
Maybe once one or both of the guys are past their prime, then we'll get to see.
Right.
How long we've been waiting for this this Joshua and
fight, heavyweight fight.
Right.
Fight, yeah. What's the holdup?
Yeah. And
what's the holdup?
So it's become so much marketing and business, and guys trying to stay undefeated. They're trying to keep that zero, whatever.
And the thing is, nobody cares about the undefeated.
Yeah.
If the zero is coming again, if Alabama is undefeated and all they're playing is, you know, Division I AA,
Widener and Sweet Nectar State.
You know what I'm saying? If they got two
Sweet
losses, if they got 2 losses or 3 losses, but every team they played was ranked in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We gonna give that 3 more credence than we do that 0.
Right.
And that it's the same way in boxing. And I think that's why
I think they give so much money. Maybe if, you know, with HBO getting out of it, maybe the dollars will become more stringent. You got to fight somebody. I mean, George Foreman said, "Yeah, I would have fought twice a year if I was getting $6 million a fight, and I would have fought guys I knew I could beat too if I could get $6 million."
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
If you gonna pay me $6 million to fight Glass Jaw Joe, I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take off 2 years.
And that, like, I don't care when we watch the marquee fights. I don't care when they announce their record that this guy is, 38-0.
Yeah,
I don't care if he's 14-0.
Yeah,
I just want to see a good fight.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A good fight. If he's 14-0 and he's 12-1 and they get it on, I'll watch him fight again.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but if you giving me, you know, this 3rd round, man, I don't want to see that. Man.
The guys that have no chance to win. Like, I think that's what hurt boxing. I think overall what hurt boxing is everything moved to pay-per-view, everything moved. And they were trying to do HBO, and they would do like 24/7. Try to bring a story behind it, make a little drama, get your non-boxing, like, hardcore fans involved with a story behind it, what's going on in their life and everything like that. But you just didn't have enough big fights. You just didn't have enough. You didn't have enough guys willing to take on the fight, like Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. The heavyweights not getting it on. I'm fighting for this channel, and he's with that channel. So now we can't get together. I'm a Showtime boxer. I'm an HBO boxer. Nah, I ain't trying to see you. And you don't. And after that, the sport dries up because you lack the interest. There's nothing behind it. You need fights to keep coming. And you don't have that Olympic push anymore, where you get the golden, like De La Hoya, the golden boy from the Olympics, Sugar Ray Williams, golden boy, Roy Jones getting robbed in the Olympics. All that story, all that backdrop that leads you to a pro career that you want to find. And now it's like, nah, well, who's fighting? Who's boxing? Who's that cat? I don't know. Who's this guy he fought? Nobody. Well, I didn't see this guy fight 3 nobodies in a row. Like when he gonna fight somebody? Like,
and you're a hardcore fan. I'm more of a common fan to boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna come watch the fight. We're gonna have a part. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna eat. We're gonna drink. We're gonna watch the fight. So I'm gonna do that. But like these guys, I don't know most of these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if he's fighting somebody else that's decent, I'm gonna watch.
Oh yeah.
If I ask you, who's this guy? Oh, that's some guy. He should beat him. Tomato can. I'm not watching that. I don't want to watch that. There's a reason why. It was a reason why in Rocky they played the music and skipped by all the title defenses, and then they showed you the Clubber Lane fight. It's a reason why. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that, man. We want to see a fight, a good fight. If I got to pay my money and dedicate my time, to watching something, I want it to be good. That's the reason why football is king.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Chino Harris. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I just go Chino. And like Dave said, growing up, everybody knew who Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran was. Like, you knew. You knew the Hands of Stone. You knew. And that had a lot to do with what they tried to do the fights on regular TV. We had ABC. We had Wild World of Sports. Where you saw fights, you saw Friday night fights, things like, even USA back in the day used to have fights back in the day, and you see these guys come up and fight and market, but they were fighting good fights.
Oh yeah,
it was like, all right, this guy can fight. Oh well, he's fighting somebody that's worth it. We and when all these cats, everybody's like, I'm undefeated, I'm not fighting him. Well, I'm not gonna fight him because I'm on Showtime and he on HBO and all this. So you at the end, you trying to get a big payday, but there's going to be no big payday.
Right.
You done missed out. Like, now, because HBO's out of the boxing business, and they were one of the big pay-per-view. HBO pay-per-view was one of the founding fathers of pay-per-view. Like, right. Like the big time. That's where the big time money and everything came in. Now people want to market themselves. I guess it's like Showtime, and Showtime can leverage now and say, look, we own a game in town. Like, you can do other promotions, everything, but where are you going to get that money from?
Right.
You're not going to be there. You have to take, like we all say, about the betterment of the team, the betterment of the sport. Right? You got to fight some people. Like, we need to be boxing each other. There's no reason that these two heavyweights haven't fought.
Right.
They fight.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason. You talking about?
Hey, back in the day, they would have went outside in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that when people talk about boxing today in 2018, the first thing they bring up is, outside of Floyd Mayweather, which we still couldn't pinpoint his most memorable fight, right? But the first thing they bring up is, oh man, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hitman Hearns, Tommy Hagler, Marvin Hagler, Sweet Pea Whitaker,
or Tyson. Remember when Tyson used to knock cats out? Yeah.
Right. That's what they bring up. An era that happened 20, 30 years ago. That's how bad the sport. Imagine right now. Now we talk about football and baseball. We talk about back in the day stuff. But imagine if right now in the day, we couldn't have a conversation about a Patrick Mahomes going up against New England because they not gonna play each other ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have a conversation about. We can have the conversation about the back in the day stuff, and we can compare it to the day because these guys have to play each other regardless. And in boxing, it just doesn't happen, and it's a shame. And it ruined the sport, because you have a lot of boxing fans that, like, a lot of the younger would be boxing fans turn to UFC, because they get to see those matches that they want to see, and then you got a lot of fans that was in between the glory days of boxing and UFC they just not into boxing. They just watch football, they watch basketball, they watch whatever, baseball, whatever. Golf.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and if you're a big name like Floyd, they knew Floyd Mayweather. That's about it. Like,
even with Floyd Mayweather, most of the just the common fan that's not a hardcore boxing fan, they don't want to watch because after they watch 1 or 2 or 3, supposedly the biggest fight, Floyd Mayweather, the best in the business is fight. Man, this shit putting me to sleep. I'm not standing up for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to take nothing from Floyd, but I'm not standing up to watch that.
And you want to go to sleep is bad.
So you know, if I'm tired, the fight come on at 11 or midnight. Now I'm over here and I'm drinking and we watching the fight. Next thing you know, I'm dozing off because round after round, it's no action. You know what I'm saying? It's no action, and this is supposed to be the best guy in the sport.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. So like I said, imagine watching Alabama or you know the New England Patriots, and every game is 6-3. Yeah, I don't want to watch that. I catch the box score.
Right.
That's what boxing is. Or you got a 38-0 route because
you fighting a bum.
Playing, you know, the Stampeders from Canada.
Right. Yeah. So you can sneak away for a minute, huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to this shit. I can, my wife even know that now. Come on, we gonna go to the play because they gonna beat them 38-0 anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't have any skills.
And that's what happens. That's what boxing to the hardcore fan that's not like technical is actually watching and saying, hey, this guy's style is this and that guy's style is
southpaw.
To the fan that's not watching that's just actually just watching the fight for the action and the excitement and I don't want to see Floyd Mayweather.
I mean,
I don't want to see Floyd. I want to see somebody get knocked out.
More people tuned in to see Floyd to be left unconscious. That's what the biggest thing was. And his marketing campaign, God bless, that's it. That's him. That's his style.
But 9 times out of 10, the person that he chooses to fight can't do
it. Yeah, I mean that's perfect marketing.
And he knows they can't do that.
That's why he fighting them. The whole 9 yards. But fellas, I mean, it's been a good session we had.
Always,
definitely, and we want to come back again next week. We want to get into this baseball playoffs. Now we ain't talked about baseball, but we need to get
it's coming.
The playoffs, some light. As we getting closer to the World Series, and a little NBA preview. And this NFL season is heating up. It's getting cold. The temperature is dropping. Autumn's here. It's cracking weather. It's hoodie weather. It's definitely that time of year to get it in. We want to keep discussing. We want to do some more Friday Night Lights, whatever. Definitely going to try to get out to the scene and see some different schools and everything like that. Definitely youth sports is big. Get out and play, man. Definitely get involved. You learn a lot getting involved in sports. Doug, Scott, thank you. Duke, thanks.
Always a pleasure, brother.
We'll be back. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Sports Talk.